Hi, second grade friends. I'm back to read another chapter of Monday with a Mad Genius. I decided to read it to you outside because, one, it's a beautiful day, and if you could see behind me, my cherry tree is really starting to blossom with the rain and all the sun. So I thought it would be kind of pretty to sit out here and maybe enjoy the scenery while you listen to the story. So this is chapter 9, and it's entitled The Smile. At first, no one spoke on the trip back. It was as if they didn't want to break the spell of joy that had settled over them. Even though Jack was bumping up and down in the cart, he could still remember the feeling of flying smoothly through the sky. He could feel the wind rustling his long feathers. The cart passed through a gate in the city walls. As they started through the streets, Annie broke the silence. "So if fame is not the secret of happiness," she said to Leonardo, "then what is? Do you think it could be flying?" Leonardo thought for a moment. No. The secret of happiness cannot be flying," he said. "Why not?" asked Jack. "Because flying is a great dream that no one but us will ever realize," said Leonardo. "Surely happiness cannot be for only us." "True," said Annie. "So what do you think the secret is?" asked Jack. Leonardo was silent. Then he sighed. "I must think about that," he said. Jack looked worriedly at the sky. The sun would go down soon, and night would come. According to their rhyme, they were supposed to leave when the night bird sang its song. How long do you think it'll take you to think about it?" Jack asked. "I don't know," said Leonardo. "Right now, all I know is that I must hurry to meet with my model. She was already unhappy enough without my being late." "Why is she unhappy?" asked Annie. "She will not say," said Leonardo. "Perhaps she is tired of posing for me. For 3 years she has been sitting for her portrait." "Whoa, that's a really long time," said Annie. "Especially if you're just sitting." Yes, it is," said Leonardo. "Lately she will not even smile. She only stares at me sadly. I have tried hiring singers, musicians, and jokesters to amuse her, but nothing helps." "Maybe you shouldn't meet with her today," said Jack. He didn't want Leonardo to lose his good feeling from flying, and he wanted him to spend time thinking about the secret of happiness. "No, I must," said Leonardo. "The light is perfect today. Late afternoon is the best time for painting a portrait. In my courtyard, when the sunlight is golden and shadows are beginning to fall." Shadows were falling as the white horse pulled the cart into Leonardo's courtyard. A young woman was standing by the studio door. "Lisa!" called Leonardo. "Hello, Leonardo," the woman said. She wore a dark gown and a silk cloth over her shoulder. A thin veil covered her long brown hair. She had a high forehead and large brown eyes. Oddly, she looked like someone Jack knew, but he couldn't remember who. "Forgive me, Lisa, I am late," said Leonardo, leaping down from the cart. "Will you wait for me to set up my things?" "Yes, I will wait," said Lisa. Leonardo hurried inside, and Jack and Annie climbed down from the cart. "Hi, we're Annie and Jack," said Annie. The woman smiled at them. "I am Lisa," she said. "You look familiar to me," said Annie. "Really?" said Lisa. "Are you from Florence?" "No, we're from Frog Creek, Pennsylvania," said Annie. "It's really far away." Lisa smiled again. "I like the name of your town," she said. So Lisa did smile for other people, thought Jack. He wondered why she wouldn't smile for Leonardo. Leonardo came back outside carrying a small canvas, an easel, and a paint box. He then brought out a stool for Lisa. She sat down and folded her hands. Leonardo placed the canvas on his easel. As he prepared his paints, Jack and Annie looked at his painting in progress. "Nice," breathed Annie. The small canvas showed the model, Lisa. Except for her mouth, her whole face had been painted. In the background was a misty landscape with mountains and winding rivers. Leonardo picked up his brush, dipped it into a paint jar, and began to work. Jack and Annie watched closely as the great genius brushed a thin coat of green paint over the scenery. "What are you doing now?" whispered Annie. "I paint many very thin coats over the background," murmured Leonardo. "This casts a soft green light over everything, so it all blends together like smoke, and you cannot tell light from shadow." I don't know how well you guys can see this. How'd you figure that out? Asked Annie. I mean, you're always coming up with new ways to do things. How do you do that? I ask questions, said Leonardo. All the time I ask questions. How can I paint the light? How can I capture the shadows? How can I do this? How can I do that? Leonardo stopped painting. He put down his brush and looked at Jack and Annie. His eyes were sparkling. And now, my friends, I know the secret. You do? Said Jack. Yes, said Leonardo. The secret of happiness is available to all of us, every hour of every day. Young, old, rich, poor, everyone can choose to find happiness in this way. How? Asked Annie. What's the secret? She and Jack leaned forward, eager to hear the answer. Curiosity, said Leonardo. Curiosity? Repeated Jack. He had curiosity. He had lots of it. Always ask questions, said Leonardo. Always try to learn something new. Ask why, when, where, what. Say, I wonder what this means. I wonder how that works. I wonder what this person is like, and that person, and that one. I'm always searching for answers to things I do not understand. Me too, said Jack. And so I look forward to each new day, each spring and summer and fall and winter, and all the months and years ahead, because there is so much to discover, said Leonardo. Me too, said Annie. Through my curiosity, I forget my failures and sorrows, and I feel great happiness, said Leonardo. He looked up at the sky. For instance, one might wonder how they built that 8-sided dome on top of the cathedral. I do wonder that, said Jack. And I wonder, what exactly makes the clouds change shape, said Annie. And what makes bread crackly on the outside and soft on the inside, asked Jack. Are there really just 10 types of noses, said Annie. How many kinds of ears are there, said Jack. And how many kinds of feet? Hands, said Annie. Eyebrows, said Jack. Their voices spilled over each other as they kept calling out questions. And who rings the bells in the bell tower? Why is the sky blue? Where do city birds sleep? And why won't Lisa smile for Leonardo? Asked Annie. Jack and Leonardo looked at Annie. Then they all turned and looked at Lisa. Jack had actually forgotten that she was sitting near them. The quiet, lovely woman blinked. What? She said. What did you say? Why won't you smile for Leonardo, Lisa, said Annie. Are you mad at him because you've been posing for 3 years? Lisa's face grew red. She seemed to be fighting tears. She shook her head. Is there another reason? Annie asked softly. Lisa looked at Leonardo. He was staring back at her. Yes, she whispered. There is. What is it? Annie asked. I'm afraid to smile, said Lisa. She kept staring at Leonardo, though she was talking to Annie. If I smile, Leonardo will paint my smile, and he will be done with me. He will sell my portrait to my family and never think of me again. There was silence for a moment. Jack and Annie looked at Leonardo. Annie, said Leonardo finally, staring at Lisa. Tell Lisa that if she will smile, I will finish her portrait. But tell her that I will not sell it to her family. I will carry it with me wherever I go for the rest of my life, and I will never forget her. Lisa, Leonardo says that, started Annie, but Lisa stopped her. I heard, she said. Then she smiled. It was a faint smile, but a mysterious and beautiful one. Her face glowed in the golden light of late afternoon. Ah, gasped Leonardo. Keep that smile, he said. He kept staring at Lisa as he dipped his paintbrush into a jar. Please, keep that smile, Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa? Jack had heard the name Mona Lisa before. Lisa kept smiling. Leonardo kept painting. Hey, listen, Annie said to Jack. Jack listened. He heard a bird whistling and trilling. A plain brown bird was singing from the rooftop above the courtyard. That looks like the bird you let out of the cage, said Jack. It is him, whispered Annie. It is a nightingale, said Leonardo, keeping his eyes on Lisa. A beautiful singer, yes? Annie smiled at Jack. Time to go, she said. Remember Morgan's rhyme, help the genius till the night bird sings its song. Right, said Jack, sighing. Goodbye, Leonardo. Leonardo didn't seem to hear him. Goodbye, Lisa, said Annie. Lisa turned her eyes to look at Jack and Annie. Bye, she whispered. Then Leonardo turned and looked at them. Yes, goodbye, my friends, he said. Come back soon, please. You have been a great help to me today. You helped us too, said Annie. Leonardo bowed to them. Then he turned back to his work. He painted Lisa's smile as the nightingale sang on. The bird's song grew louder and louder until it seemed to fill the Florence night. And that is the end of chapter 9. So a couple things I took from this. One, I love when Leonardo said, keep asking questions. Who, what, where, when, how. That's what we always tell you to help you learn. We always tell you that to increase your writing and make it even a better writing piece for us to enjoy. And something else, with your parents' permission, I want you to Google Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, and I want you to see the actual painting of the Mona Lisa, because this is true. This has actually happened in history. There is a painting called the Mona Lisa, and I'd really love for you to check it out, again, with your parents' permission. Happy learning, happy reading. Have a great day, my friends. Bye.